What's up, Internet? Wanted to take a few quick minutes to give a shout out to a handful of people I've been working with lately, and hopefully shed a little light on various projects I've been a part of. Not having concerts and the various events we're all so accustomed to is definitely taking a toll on the industry and the professionals within it. Catching up with everyone like this feels like the best way for me to sort of keep the fire going and hopefully drum up more opportunities during this downtime. On a heavier side of things, with Dead Hands Rising agreed to pull some unused material from the vault. After roughly a decade without a proper presentation for these songs, the band now has all the pieces in place for an EP release.
For everyone you know, begin to bow the road.
We are currently setting up distribution, writing an official statement about how the material came to be, and setting release dates for not only the EP release itself, but complimentary recording footage. It's pretty wild to go back in time roughly 10 years and watch some of this tracking footage. In terms of fresh new material from the band, we've been having a blast immersing ourselves into remote production over the last few years. There's roughly an hour's worth of new material, with 3 songs in the pre-production phase, 3 to 4 songs about to enter the pre-production phase, and the remaining material is either rough song demos or small guitar or drum riffs. You can expect a drastically different vibe between the older unarchived material we are about to release and the fresh new material we've got in the works to be presented when the time's right. This summer I was given the opportunity to play with another established Twin Cities band called Cobra. Although I have been working closely with them over the last couple of years, producing various pieces of video content, most of the members are acquaintances from my early 2000s days with Dead Hands Rising and Dead to Fall. We shared the stage with many of their bands, including Devil Inside, Blue Ox, Ambassador Gun, and Martyr AD. It's super exciting for me to work with such experienced and seasoned musicians. After only 3 months of discovery together, I couldn't be more stoked to hit the pre-production phase with 4 brand new songs and 4 to 5 additional demos being worked out in the Riff Dojo. This is some of the heaviest and most rewarding stuff I've ever worked on, and the prospect of recording this material somewhere special will be aligned perfectly with concerts slowly firing back up again. In the meantime, keep an eye on our socials, as we're generally working together each week and slowly getting our web game in gear while things ramp up. Outside of writing and music production with heavier Twin Cities bands, I've been producing various pieces of video content for the homies in Blue Ox. They're setting up for a brand new album release, and we have already finished producing video content of them tracking at Adam Tucker's Signature Tone recording studio, performing live at the VFW, and there's a super fun music video being included as well. Make sure to follow Blue Ox socials and networks for those releases. In terms of session work, there's a handful of super diverse material I've been a part of tracking thanks to my producer homies Justin Spirala, Jake Wagner, and Phil Merriman. These guys have recently been my lifeline for offering me opportunities as well as helping me deliver professional results regardless of the scope of work. Recently, a close collaborator of mine from Houston sent me a second batch of songs in need of drums. Michael Theobald has been putting together a solo album that is turning out to be pretty fun departure from his time in Darkest Hour and At All Costs. The first 3 songs were super fun to track, and to celebrate receiving 3 more tunes, I'm going to be releasing a second drum tracking video in the next couple days. Elihu and Jefe just added a new single to Bandcamp, and I'm in the process of adding it to our growing catalog on streaming services. To celebrate this release, I'm in the post-production phase of a second music video featuring our time tracking at the amazing Pachyderm recording studios here in Minnesota. I have my eyes set on recording there again in the foreseeable future. Keep an eye out for this new Elihu and Jefe content closer to the holiday season. Another acquaintance of mine from way back decided to reproduce some music he and Jake Wagner produced back when we were all in high school. Gary Hauk is probably one of the most skilled guitar players I've ever had the pleasure of working with, and I had a great time doing session work on 4 of his songs. These instrumental songs range from more funk and fusion vibes to good old rock and roll that highlights his amazing talent with the guitar. I think guitar and music theory nerds are going to love this stuff. Although drums were tracked this summer at Uptown Sound Recording, the entire writing, recording, and overall production of these songs is being redone from the ground up. So there really is no timeline for this material at this point. Another super fun and low maintenance gig I recently worked on was from my close friend and Dead to Fall bandmate Phil Merriman. Earlier this summer, Phil brought another recording opportunity to me with his recent work for Materia Collective. Materia Collective is a video game record label, music publisher, and rights administrator that has been dominant in this space for years. And for anyone that knows me closely, they know I have a passion for retro video games. So to be able to put the world of drumming together with the world of video games, it's always a no-brainer for me. Especially the more things evolve in those 2 industries and kind of begin to merge together a little bit. Stay tuned for our version of Secret of the Arid Sands from the SNES game Secret of Mana, which is being released within a Materia Collective compilation. Expect this sometime in the near future, I'm hoping. Finally, I have an old school prog rock collaboration in the works with Dead to Fall and Nehemiah bandmate Chad Fjerstad and Elihu and Jefe bandmate Jeff Carlson. Currently unnamed project is taking on a very different approach in terms of scope and timeline, whereas generally the writing and recording process can take place a bit more slowly within the studio being booked after the songs are ready. We have booked time at Terrarium Recording Studios a month and a half out from the time we started writing the music. Although placing this kind of pressure on ourselves can be a bit daunting, it can also be exciting and a great exercise to put a little added stress on productivity. Especially when there's really nothing to lose except maybe our dignity, a little bit, and of course our ego. So, that's about everything I can think of in the pipeline. Huge shout outs to all the homies keeping me busy in this space, especially during a crazy year for the music industry. Thank you for watching, and don't hesitate to hit me up if you're interested in collaborating.